Hey everybody, Mike here from Just Car People Things. We are checking out a brand new Jeep Wrangler Gladiator Mojave. This is the off-road trim spec, one of the off-road trim specs. The other similar price is the Rubicon. The Rubicon is set up a little bit more for like rock crawling and has some different locking differential type options. And this car, on the other hand, is set up a little bit more for sort of being high-speed off-road, like maybe Bajaing out in the desert. This does have a rear locker still, but it's got a Fox set of shocks. It's actually an inch taller in the front, and it really looks good. I think these have a lot more presence on the road than the regular Gladiators do. So, in fact, we've even got everything. We've had a chance to spend a little time in it. We've even got a free pine cone here in this vehicle. So, good time off-road. We've driven it a fair amount. We've been in it a fair amount. And there's some comments I'll make for you about it. It's really, really, really comfortable. I actually think it's, for Michigan, with Michigan roads being kind of destroyed where we're at here in the Midwest, this is a great option set for that environment. It seems to kind of roll over everything. It'll go down a dirt road at 45, 55 and be very composed, very comfortable. There's a couple things I'll mention about it. It's very long compared to a normal Jeep. So just keep in mind, a regular Jeep Wrangler ends right about here, and they've sort of added a 5-foot bed to the back of that, which is great. The other thing I'll mention to you about this car that might be a little bit of a deduct if you've not been in one is it's $71,000, which this is the Mojave X. It comes with the 4-high transfer case, so there's some extra option there. For whatever reason, that costs another $10K almost over the top of a regular Mojave, and that starts getting a little bit pricey. So if you can live with a little bit less and maybe a little bit less option spec, you can certainly get one of these down into the 60s. There's pretty big discounts on them right now. It seems Jeep may have maybe overproduced them a little bit. There's a lot of 23s still sitting on the lot, or 24s still sitting on the lot, with the 25s coming. So you can probably find a really good deal on one. Chrysler dealer might cut you even 10 or 15K off the sticker price. But that being said, used ones of these that are a few years old are down into the 30s and 40s. So, you know, is this a great car at $71,000? No, I would tell you not to buy one. But if you're going to go look for a used one and buy one for maybe 37 grand or 38 grand, this is an awesome car for that kind of price. It's got a decent bed in it. This one came with the trail rail system. It's a pretty pricey option. It came with the bedliner from the factory. This is really high quality. If you're buying one of these, I would absolutely get the factory bedliner on this. I think it's done to a pretty nice degree. The trail rail system also has a cargo plug in the back here, and this has the tonneau on it as well. So decent size back here. Works pretty well for pickup truck things. You got the tow hooks. You're on the Falcon Wild Peaks. This has optional machined painted gray wheels. They got the rock sliders in the back. One of the things that's the downside to any truck or pickup truck off-road, they tend to have very long wheelbases. This has a really long wheelbase. I think it's over like 170 inches. It's just a really long wheelbase vehicle. 137
inch wheelbase.
137 inch wheelbase. I think the Topher is here. He's going to tell us also about all his cars because he's been living with this thing for a minute. The other thing that I'll mention, you also often have problems with departure angle. So when you're going up a big long hill, the back of the vehicle will, you know, make contact with the ground. You've got a lot of bumper here. There's a lot of distance between the back of the vehicle. You got a little extra metal there to keep you safe. Same thing with the sliders along the side here, because breakover angle, you know, when you get over an obstacle that's shaped like this, it's tough. That being said, these are 285 70/17 tires. This truck, completely stock, will take 35s. You can jump up you know, quite a bit on tire size. That will help you even more with the ground clearance. And I think with the 1-inch taller nose on the Mojave, this thing on 35s from the like if you get it from the factory, throw 35s on it, it looks perfect. If you go to a 1-inch spacer lift, you can actually jump up to 37s. If you want to live that Tonka truck life, you can go to a 3.5 lift and probably stuff 40s into this thing, which is very ridiculous looking. I like the seating position inside. This is equipped with the rather pricey color matched Freedom top. We just sort of tossed some of this stuff in. So one thing I'll say about this, it does have the plug in the back seats. The all-weather mats are nice. That's worth 170 bucks if you're optioning one of these. The other thing I'll mention about the interior of this, what I think is really cool for this model year, They've gone to like a greenish accent and greenish leather. Before, all this stuff was red on the dash and the seats were black. This color combo in the Mojave I actually think is super cool and is really pretty sharp inside. You do have the rear axle locker here, regular cigarette lighter. You've got some more traditional USB plugs, media type plugs over here, USB-C, which is nice. Got a nice size glove box with more USB plugs. One thing I'll say, just from a size perspective, I'm a little over 6 feet tall. If you're gonna jump in, this is a pretty decent jump to get inside. So if you're shorter, you're probably gonna wanna opt for a rail system that has the actual steps in it, just worth mentioning. So one thing I'll say in the cabin, when you're moving around, well, we can throw the Freedom top in here. So how do we, oh yeah, it's got a like pin there, right? How many YouTubers does it take to screw in a light bulb? It's like
once you have to hang it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's actually, it's just 4 latches and then this big guy in front. And you can of course run with just this one open. So if your significant other like Chris here is in the passenger seat complaining about getting a tan, you can throw their roof back in. The one other major deduct to the car beyond the $71,000 price tag in this vehicle is that it is very noisy past about 75 miles an hour. It's loud inside. It's not as bad as the Bronco, but just understand that if you're going to live with this car every day, it is going to be loud at higher speeds than the highway. We live in the land of freedom here in Michigan, and we have 75-mile-an-hour speed limits, and so it's frequent to actually be driving that fast. That being said, if you live on the East Coast, or you live maybe on the West Coast and speed limits are lower, there's a lot more traffic, maybe you're never going faster than 65, that's never going to be an issue, and this will be a great vehicle for you. So let's fire it up here real quick. I'll just show you a quick startup. It's obviously got the Jeep logo here on startup, which I think is very cool. Full gauge suite on the front. This does have the adaptive cruise. This thing's fully optioned. I mean, this is really pretty high up there in the option set. Wireless Apple CarPlay. It's got a decent stereo, and I think you've got seat heating options in addition to having physical buttons for the climate control. So good on you, Jeep, for still being adults and treating us like adults and providing us with legitimate buttons. This vehicle's got auto stop start, but something helpful to be aware of. You've got forward-facing camera. You have a clean, what's the clean camera button do?
Just cleans it.
With like a sprayer?
Yeah, try it.
Hey, look at that. That is very fun. Look. All right, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, let's get a shot of that.
This is great. Here, let's get the shot of that. Go ahead, fire it up. That is great. Ah, okay, hey. All right, well, on that note, back to our regularly scheduled program here. Thanks, Topher.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted. That little.
Good.
You know what doesn't taste good? That. But no, it's comfy inside. I'll say that the seating position isn't bad. This is the base. This is the lowest the seat will go. So just understand, I have it bottomed out, and I'm 6 feet tall. I think if you're like 6'3" or 4", and you're a longer torsoed person, you might run into trouble with headroom in this. Just be aware of that. Maybe there's a way to make the seat go a little bit lower. But that said, this is power seats, leather. It's got heat. I think this is heated steering wheel too, right? Yeah, it's got the heated steering wheel, heated seats. No cooled seats though. You know, when you start talking about the $70,000 price point, we should start talking about like the Lexus GX 550.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's
the Overtrail Plus.
The Overtrail Plus is like 75.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's a car that's got all the things that this does, and then of course is a Lexus on top of that. So that said, this is the V6, and what are these making, like 285?
285, 260 pound-feet of torque. Yeah.
Okay, so it's, you know, it's not slow. One thing I will mention for those of you shopping for these, just to be aware of in the used market, depending on your insurance world, these vehicles have a habit of breaking windshields. Obviously, they're very upright, and so when they take rocks, they tend to break. This is equipped with the Gorilla Glass windshield, which is going to hold up a little bit better. They do hold up better, but understand with this having the adaptive cruise control, this option set for tech and adaptive cruise that's included in it, the replacement cost in this windshield can be very, very high. You're talking $800 to $1,000 for a new windshield, versus the ones without adaptive cruise that aren't Gorilla Glass are probably a little bit closer to, you know, a few $100s. So just something to keep in mind if you live in a place like we do, or you're going to be bombing around off-road or on gravel a lot with this car. That windshield is something that is, it's just accept the Jeep life that you're going to have to replace it pretty regularly. Yeah. So everything else is really nice. It's got power windows. It's got the aux switch package if you want to add stuff. You do have an off-road plus setting. I have to put it in 4-wheel drive for that, but it's kind of a cool note. This has that 4-high auto, so when you throw it, you can do it on the fly, right? Yeah, while we're moving, yeah, which is pretty slick. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think these are a really cool package. You know, when you talk about these and you think about their capabilities and just sort of look at what they'll do, it's pretty impressive. It's got decent back seat room. I'm about 6 feet tall. I can sit back here easily. You want to throw this guy back on? Yeah, so I'll just jump back in here. Again, bit of a jump. So, but just to put that, I'm 6 foot tall. My pants inseam's about 32. You can definitely get your legs in here and feel comfortable. You got some HVAC back here, all that good stuff. We've even got an armrest cup holders. God, man, it's almost as nice as a Lexus, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
So
pretty comfy.
It's pretty comfy. That's the thing, you know, you're on these big tires, you're on this really cool Fox suspension. And so one of the neat things about it is that this rides actually, for a Jeep, it rides really nice. Probably one of the better riding Jeeps that I've ever been in. It's a good opportunity to go for a quick ride here in our Mojave. You gotta say it like that. So that's part of the deal.
Or just call it the Mojave.
The Mojave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like good turning radius.
Yeah, actually kind of surprised by that, honestly. And it's comfortable. I like the wide CarPlay screen too. I think it really integrates nicely.
This is the first Uconnect system that I've driven, like with this modern UI.
Ooh, nice Corvette.
It doesn't drop CarPlay. It is super buggy all the time. It actually works.
Yeah, I believe that. Hey, here we go. Our team. V6 doesn't sound bad.
A lot of noise.
That's the next one. So, yeah, it doesn't have any kick you in the pants kind of acceleration. That's for sure. Not like the Ranger Raptor. You know, where that boost hits in the Ranger Raptor, it's like, holy crap, this thing is fast.
I put a tune on that this week, by the way.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Another 50 horsepower.
50 horsepower. Yeah. It already had what, 400?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rowdy. No, this is fun though. It's definitely got a little bit chintzy plastic. Like I feel like this door handle might snap off in my hands, and these seem like they're out of like a 1997 Dodge Stratus. But that being said, we're going about 55 right now. You can hold a conversation.
Sure.
Wind noise isn't super terrible. It's pretty good.
Yeah, there's almost as much tire noise from these AT3Ws as there is.
Ah, yes. Yeah, there's the AT3W wears in particular. They can get pretty noisy, so.
A lot of deep tread.
For sure. And we did have the roof panels off this driving earlier, and it was great. No issues at all. And, you know, really up to about 55, 60, you could hold a normal conversation. It didn't feel really overwhelming. Sometimes with like Targa style roofs, you get into a scenario where it can get really buffety. Like I remember I had a Corvette that was a Targa, and you know the center panel pulls out and just could be a little nuts. So
no, this is shaped like a brick, so any window open, any roof panel off,
lets all that, yeah, it suddenly gets okay. Yep. Well, anyway, I hope everyone has enjoyed this entertaining exchange so far.
Yeah, this is fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think
I've enjoyed this week. It's been great.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, easy Jeep to live with.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just understand there's going to be some limitations and some trade-offs whenever you slap a pickup bed on what is otherwise a Jeep Wrangler. So it's got.
I think this is the best driving Jeep they make as far as road manners go.
Oh yeah.
It's got some Ram 1500 suspension stuff going on in the back.
It does seem very busy on the highway though.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Like as even the Broncos, you know, past the closer you get to that 70, 75, 80 mile an hour mark, you're going to start getting busy. Also, these are tall. They've got a lot of windage. It is desert rated, you know, versus trail rated if you buy the Rubicon. This and the Rubicon are very similar price points. I think they're within like a few $100s of each other, right?
Yeah,
so,
you know, whatever flavor you want.
It really comes down to what you're interested in and what you want. But overall, really cool vehicle. Wanted to share a quick walk around with it and just sort of check it out a little. Try to avoid the windshield washer sprayer. You could probably like point that at someone. Like, you know, you could probably turn it around and aim it at someone.
Yeah.
But this is the sort of thing we like to deliver, and if you're enjoying catching up with us once in a while, knocking around in stupid cars, please feel free to like and subscribe. We always have a good time coming around in these. Sadly, the ORV park was closed today, otherwise we'd be out there messing around right now. We had a beautiful day for it. But that said, I think it's a really cool car. The fact that you can get one like 2 years old for literally half the price of this means that that's probably what I would do. But
you don't want to take that depreciation hit.
It's pretty bad. And I think the one comment I'll make is I do think it's gonna, this is a vehicle right now that folks are gonna kind of wise up on at some point. Oh yeah, they got the skid plates on this.
Solid skid, yeah.
So I do think that people will wise up on these at some point, especially as we see the price of mid-size pickup trucks skyrocket, right? I mean, what's a new Tacoma? 65K? Yeah. TRD Pro Tacoma, $65,000 to start. You have the Ranger Raptor, that's about 55.
At 55.
It is.
I'm sure Ford's going to raise the price on that here in a year.
Yep, when they wise up and they start selling more of them. And so you kind of, you know, the Canyon Colorado, the AT4, those are really cool in this price range. Very comparable vehicles, different setup. This is a convertible. To me, this is a, I think people like to kind of beat on it because it's not really great at any one thing. It's not the world's greatest pickup truck. It's not the world's greatest convertible. It's not the world's greatest off-roader, but it's good at all of those things. Yeah, and right?
It's livable. I think way more livable than a Wrangler day to day.
Oh yeah.
It's charming still.
Yeah, it's still kind of got that quirk to it, but it's not a car that it's, you know, it's not the scalpel. It's going to be a Swiss Army knife, and that's something to think about if you're one of those people that, hey, maybe I dirt bike and I got to throw the dirt bike in the back on the weekends, or hey, maybe I go cruise with my friends at low speed, you know, out for dinner once in a while. I want to take the roof off and have a nice time.
Ultimate overlanding rig.
Oh yeah, nice rack in the back. You throw a tent on there, you know, the whole thing, and that's part of, for me, you know, I've been thinking a lot about personally one of these just for that exact reason, and it's a convertible pickup truck, and that's super stupid, and I like it. Yeah. It's just dumb. And so if you want, you get in a manual. That's our takeaway for the day. Buy a dumb car. Don't buy a washing machine. Buy something ridiculous like this. You can get it in a manual. It's actually pretty wild. They charge you an extra $2,500 for an automatic transmission, which, by the way, the 8-speed auto in these is really good. It's actually very reliable. The things on these have gotten a lot better in the reliability front. I feel like they, no offense to your Ranger Raptor, which the Rangers are a really developed platform, but I know Ford in particular has really been struggling on QC a lot lately. It's been bad. So much money on warranty claims. And of course, when that car is in the shop for warranty, the thing you're not doing is driving around your new car. So something to think about a little bit. But these are really cool and might be worth checking out if you're in that price range. I think, again, for 70K, probably no thank you. But for 35K or 40K as a car that can kind of do it all, you know, fit 2 car seats in the back, go wherever you want, go off-road, be very comfortable, especially if you're in a place where you don't have to drive at really high speed all the time. So I think also this has the most cab space of any midsize truck because they didn't shorten it or change it compared to a regular Jeep. Yeah, so this is literally a regular Wrangler up until right here. Yeah. And of course that makes it longer. The tire goes right there. Yeah, so with that, yeah, that's probably our spouses wondering if we're with that, we're going to wrap the video up before we're killed. But I'd like to thank you guys again for tuning in, liking and subscribing, and doing all that fun stuff. And we'll go from there. So cheers, guys. This is a really cool Swiss Army knife car. And if you're thinking about one in the market, worth doing.